Thursdays with Jaquan, yeah. If you wanna talk show, this is the one. Thursdays with Jaquan, yeah. If you wanna talk show, this is the one. Every Thursday live, tune in. Thursdays with Jaquan is going in. You don't wanna miss it, ayy. It's getting litty, ayy. Talking about everything for young people. Thursdays with Jaquan, yeah. If you wanna talk show, this is the one. Carve out some time, yeah. Thursday on my Instagram live. Thursday, yeah.
It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
Family, on the DYP show tonight, we have board certified credit consultant Coach Kendra. She's here and she's going to tell us, why credit is important. And as young people, we need to learn the importance of why credit is important. So, Miss Kendra, tell us more about you. Tell us what you do.
Greetings, family. First of all, Jaquan, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come on and share a little bit about myself with your viewers and your audience and just talk a little bit about credit. Just like you said, I am a board certified credit consultant. My goal is to educate, equip, and empower families and individuals to reach their financial goals. I know firsthand how just being ignorant concerning finances and credit, it can really lead to some bad situations. So I just want to use my bad experiences to turn around and educate and help as many people as I possibly can. So thank you again for having me on your show.
All right. So, one of my first questions, growing up and going through high school, middle school, just school in general, we as young people, we weren't necessarily taught, the importance of credit. And so that's kind of strange, but,
Right.
it's just something that we are not being taught, which should be one of the main things that we should be taught and we should learn about. So, just tell us, we have a lot of young people watching. Tell us, the importance of why we need to focus on our credit.
And you know what? You make a great point that is true. In very few cases and very few people, I've asked maybe 1 out of 20, do people say that they learn anything about credit or finances in school, which is really not good because when you get out into the real world, immediately you're going to be hit with credit card offers. You're going to, most cases start a new job. And if you don't know ahead of time how to manage those things, again, it can be devastating for you and it can kind of put you off on a rocky start. But good thing, you're having shows like this to just educate people, young people especially, and put this word out there that it's important. So just to go over and answer your question a little bit, first of all, let's talk about what credit is, right? So credit is the ability to pay for things over time. So say, for instance, you had a car for sale and I want to buy that car from you. You want $5,000 for it. I don't have all $5,000 right now, but I know I'm working and over time I'll have that $5,000. So I come to you and I say, hey, can I get the car and make payments on it? And that's exactly what credit is. It's the ability to borrow now and pay later. So
Right.
understanding that kind of gives you a reason why it's important to have good credit. So say for instance, I'm in that situation and my credit with you is bad, like I done came to you before and I done burned you, you know, my chances of you working with me again is not very good. Whereas if I borrowed, you know, from you before, I paid on time, I paid ahead of time, you know, I got good credit with you now. So that's really the importance. But it's not just limited to if you want to make a large purchase. Like most people only think about credit if they're going to borrow money for a house or a car. But think about this, you know, when you go to get your first apartment, your credit might be run to rent that property, to rent that apartment out. When you go down to the utility company, they may run your credit for that to see if you have to pay a deposit. What about when you go to get car insurance? You know, they may run your credit for that. So again, it is so important because it really does affect a lot of areas of our lives, even a job. I was turned down, you know, just being completely honest, a job I really wanted one time. My credit was so shot, I couldn't even get bubble gum on credit. Nobody would give me any money. So you can even, you know, miss out on good employment opportunities if you don't have good credit. So it's very important to start out on a good foot, educating yourself, getting this type of knowledge on what you need to do to be able to start out with a good credit.
So with that being said, you know, a lot of young people are watching. What are some of the strategies that you can share with some of us young people that we can, you know, start building and start getting our credit on board?
Yeah, so one thing you can do, if you have people in your life that you know and trust, and they know and trust you, and they already have established credit, you could do something called piggybacking. So using our same illustration from before, if I came to you, you had good credit, you had a credit card, you could call your credit card company and say, hey, I want to put Kendra on this as an authorized user. You don't even have to give me the card. So I don't even have to have the card, but I could benefit from your good credit history. So what will happen is when you put me on that account as an authorized user, everything as far as the history from that credit card is now on my credit profile. So just make sure if you do take that strategy that that person has a good payment history, you don't want them to have late payments or high utilization, high balances, or anything like that. So that's one strategy. Another strategy you can do is called using or applying for a secured credit card or a secured line of credit. So in most cases, they may start out at about $200. They can go lower or higher, depending on which credit card company or bank you go through. So you put up your own money as a deposit for a credit line. So you go into the bank, you say, hey, I have $200. They'll issue you a credit card for that same $200. That money stays in a savings account, and that's your limit. So you just want to show them over time that you can utilize that limit responsibly. In some cases, they may give you the money back after about 6 months or so, but you don't always get the money back. But that is a good way to go about establishing your credit history. Yep.
So, you know, when did you realize how important credit was? When did you start? When did you become a credit consultant?
So it hit me hard because, again, I was just being honest with your viewers. I was very, very ignorant about credit. Somebody threatened me when I first started out in my teen years with credit. They're like, well, if you don't pay us, we gonna put this on your credit. And I was like, go right ahead. You know, I didn't know any better. You know, so again, but as I progressed through the years, and like I said, when there was a job that I really, really wanted, and I applied for it and I was turned down because of my credit, that's when I was like, you know what, it was embarrassing. And it was like, you know what, I can't find myself in a situation like that again. So I took that opportunity to educate myself, learn about credit, worked on my own credit, you know, then started helping family members and things with their credit. And so from there, it's like, you know what, this is information that needs to go out to as many people as possible. So that's what inspired me, again, to just take my own mistakes and things that I've suffered from as far as the credit and, you know, lack of financial literacy, and just help people, because I believe, you know, if you can have your money on track, you can have good spending habits, you know, you can build wealth, you can do so many things. But I know both sides of it, what it's like to have bad credit, and I would tell you having good credit is so much better than having bad credit.
So I know we have a lot of young people, you know, who may not even, you know, understand the importance of credit. And, you know, we discussed that early in the beginning. But, you know, some young people, they might not even know, you know, how to pull their credit report. So just tell us a little bit about how we can pull our credit report.
Yes, so that's true. A lot of times when I'm coaching people, they have never even looked at their credit report, or they don't even know where to start to even find your credit report. So the thing that I always recommend is that you go to a website called annualcreditreport.com. And by law, you're entitled to one free credit report per year. Some states you get more, and then there are other circumstances that allow you to get more than one. For instance, if you applied for credit and you were turned down, you can get another report for that reason as well. The good news is that right now, due to our nation being in a pandemic, the credit bureaus are allowing people to pull their credit once free every week. So this is the first time that I've ever seen anything like that happen. So this is a good time to pull those credit reports and find out what's on your report. And so another thing to distinguish is that your report and your score is different. So the best way to explain that is kind of like, you know, if you get a report card. So, you know, all semester, you've been getting grades, you've been getting grades, you've been getting grades. So you know what the assignments are that you've been graded on. And then you get the report card and you actually have the number. So the credit report contains how you've paid your bills, what your names you've used, what addresses have you lived at. It contains information about you, as well as how you handle your different accounts. So your score is going to be kind of like that grade number. So what's on your report actually make up your score. So you may be able to pull the report for free, but sometimes you have to pay for the score. Not always, but sometimes you do. So again, in order to find out what's even on there, you want to go to annualcreditreport.com. And if you're starting out, don't be alarmed if there's no data on you. That's not a bad thing. That just means that you have to get established with your credit.
Okay. So I know we just talked about, you know, for those who may not even, you know, understand the importance of credit and how to go about finding a credit report. But, you know, how can we, you know, keep up with the credit score?
So that's another good question. As far as your credit score, there are different platforms out there, and there are different scoring models. So it's kind of easy to get confused. You may hear a lot of advertisements about Credit Karma. Credit Karma is free. You can get your report, and they will also give you a score. However, that score is a Vantage score, which is only used by 10% of lenders. So FICO is the most common, and that's the one that you really want to pay attention to. You can get your FICO score from websites like Experian.com or myfico.com. And again, you may have to pay for the score, and that's okay. If you want to, you know, do a subscription just to see where your numbers are, you can always cancel it later. But those are my recommendations as far as getting your true FICO score as opposed to your Vantage score.
Okay. Well, that was a very good response, and hopefully that helped a lot of young people. You know, with that being said, how do we, once we, you know, establish our credit score, and once we establish, you know, how we go about finding our credit report, how can we, you know, maintain our credit score?
Yes, so that's a good question. I wish I would have asked. So what you want to do is start out by understanding how it works. Spend some time educating yourself, reading. You know, we live in Google times and YouTube
Mhm.
times. Just
Yeah.
understand how credit works. So a couple things you can do. You always want to pay on time. That
Right.
counts for a large percentage of your credit score. You
Mhm.
also want to keep utilization low, and utilization refers to how much of your credit are you using. So, for instance, if I have a credit card, my limit is $100. I don't want to use $99 of that because it shows that I'm kind of living close to my limit there. So you want to
Right.
keep that low. The recommendation is 30% or lower. I go lower, but that's just because me, I know myself, I like to keep a little bit of room. But if
Right.
you maintain around 30%, you'll be okay. So those are the best pieces of advice I can give. Also,
Mhm.
you don't want to be applying for credit all the time. Like that makes you look
Right.
desperate, makes you look thirsty. You getting all these hits on your report. That gives you a lot of inquiries, and a lot of inquiries can hurt your score. So make
Mhm.
sure, you know, if one or two people told you no, it's likely that everybody else will, not all the time, but
Mhm.
use that. Wait till they send you the letters telling you why they denied you. Work on those things before you keep applying for credit. So those
Right.
are some of the best practices. Again, paying on time and keeping low utilization. If you can remember those two things, then you're on your road to having good credit.
Is it anything else that you wanted to, share that we may not have known about? Since most of us are like high school students, we didn't know anything about credit in school. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, it does take a lot of self discipline and control because there's going to be so many things that we want out of life, so many things that we want to do.
Hmm.
So it's a temptation to, you know, want to get what this person has or get what that person has. But I've just learned, you know, to stay in my own lane, work my
Yeah.
own plan. You know, even if it's my
Hmm.
financial plan, you know, I can't do everything and go everywhere, not because I may lack the resources or I can't afford it, but you know, honestly,
Hmm.
if it does not line up with my plan or what I'm trying to do, then I just say, you know what, I'll have to pass on that. And again, you know, when you all graduate or get ready to graduate, you're gonna be hit with
Hmm.
all types of offers.
Right.
Another thing
Right.
I would advise people is read the fine print because it may
Right.
look good, like, oh, they offered me this credit card, but
Hmm.
what kind of fees are they offering?
Yeah.
You know,
What's
are you
behind
going
it?
to have an annual? Yeah, are you going to have an
Hmm.
annual rate that you have to pay that company? So just be mindful. Number one, of what your goals are, what your
Hmm.
plans are, and number two, work your plan. Work your plan,
Right.
whatever it is that you decided that you want to do. Don't worry about everybody else.
Hmm.
Just stay in your lane. And the final thing I would probably say to people is, it's okay to reach out for help. You have
Hmm.
people in your family that may be knowledgeable about finances and credit. You know, reach out to those people, ask them questions, you know, say, what kind of mistakes did you make? And, you know, they may
Yeah.
be able to help you as well. So, again, it's okay to ask for help when we need it. We don't have to, it's too much information available nowadays for us to
Hmm.
not know what to
You to
do
not
and for
know.
us
Right.
not to do better. Yes. So that
Yeah.
would be my best advice for your viewers today.
Yeah. So, do you do like workshops, classes, virtual workshops? I know we have everything with the, pandemic still going on. What are you doing now, to ensure that the people know about the importance of credit?
Yes, so definitely doing things like this, doing interviews, trying to get the word out, doing Zooms. I do, as a coach, work one on one with people. And
Hmm.
you know, you may be thinking, well, I'm just starting out. I might not need
Yeah.
a coach, but actually, it's better for you because again, it can help you from
Right.
you know making some of those mistakes, or if you've already kind of hit some bumps in the road and you kind of need
Hmm.
somebody to help you figure it out. That's a
Right.
benefit of having a coach. But in addition to doing these types of interviews and working with people one on one, yes, I am in the process
Hmm.
of doing some type of group coaching
Right.
sessions to where
Hmm.
people can just dial in and for sure get this information that's going to help them, you know, on a larger scale aside from just working one on one with people.
Well, I mean, I know I don't want to keep you too long, but just before
You
we
fine?
get ready to wrap it up, I want you to share, how how we can get in contact with you if any young people want to, ask more questions that we probably didn't answer.
Yeah, so for sure, you can definitely visit the website. It's just my first and last name, KendraLonon.com. I am on Facebook at Coach Kendra Lonon. And I do have Instagram. I just got a little while ago. But I am on Instagram at Coach Kendra Lonon. So you can reach out on any of those platforms, and I'll be glad to help y'all out.
Well, all right, Miss Coach. I'm saying Miss, but I'm trying to say Coach Kendra. I thank you again for accepting the invitation to come and just share a little about who you are, what you do, and of course the importance of credit. So again, I thank you and I appreciate you so much. For all of you tuned in with us, I want to encourage you, join us again August 20th for our 5th segment of Dear Young People. So we hope to see you then.